Hey everybody, it's Gina Page, President and co-founder of African Ancestry. It's Friday, March 27th, and I wanted to check in and see how you all are doing today. We're starting these live conversations. I thought we'd just come in towards the end of the day and chat with some people who are part of the African Ancestry family, see what's going on with them. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Darnell, I see you. Smooth Serenity, getting fired up. Oh, I'm glad you're in here getting fired up. We need you in here to get fired up. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Where are you guys joining me from? I'm here in Washington, D.C., thought I'd get outside. You know, it can be a lot to be cooped up inside all day. Come on in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hello, hello. Get fired up. I love that name. Hey, Les Samari. Good to see you. Jacksonville, Florida in the house. Okay, Richmond, Seattle, South Carolina, NOLA, we got New Orleans in the house. Hey, Brown Sugar 315. Welcome. Oh, another Virginia. Okay. All right. I'm glad to see you guys here. Ty's in the house. It's 85 degrees in Atlanta. It's pretty warm here. I don't know what it is. It feels like it's about 70 or so. Texas. I'm loving all these cities and states. Shout out to Simone. What's up, Simone? You know, African Ancestry has customers in 66 different countries. Can you believe that? Every single state in the United States. So I'm glad you guys are on. As you may or may not know, we are the pioneers of genetic ancestry tracing for Black people around the world. Thank you, Philly. I love Philly. That's where all my family is from, Philadelphia. Before Nigeria, that is, and Liberia. Whoa, we got Nova Scotia. Wow. What's the weather in Nova Scotia? I have no idea. Okay, I'm just chatting. But yeah, we're the pioneers of genetic ancestry tracing for Black people around the world. And we're doing just fine here in the U.S., given the circumstances, probably just like everyone else. But we stand apart from the other companies in that we don't just tell you that you're some percentage this and some percentage that. We already know that as Black folks, we're mixed, right? So what we do is we get down to the specifics. What is the present day country? Not a whole bunch of countries and a whole bunch of regions that some company just decided to split Africa up into, but actually the present day country and ethnic group or tribe that has people living in it today. So that's who we are. That's what we do. We've impacted over 1 million people in the past 17 years of doing this work. And so today I wanted to come on with Darnell Clayton, who I don't want to play favorites, but Darnell is like a super, super African Ancestry ambassador. And I haven't talked, I don't know if we've ever had a voice conversation. So I wanted to have him come on and I wanted to chat with him. Darnell, if you could do the request again, because I missed it when you were doing it early. Okay, House of People in Nigeria, that makes you my cousin. On my father's line, my ancestry is shared among the House of People living in Nigeria today. Yes. Okay. Ty corrected me. He is not just a super ambassador. He is an African ancestry warrior. Yes, he is. Pardon me, and thank you for that correction. Darnell holds it down for African ancestry out here in these social media streets. I'm telling you. Okay, here we go. So let me bring him in. We're waiting for Darnell, the African ancestry warrior. My family is from Germantown and North Philly. Oh, there's Darnell. Look. Oh, welcome to the African Ancestry Instagram page, Darnell. How are you doing?
Thank you. Well, I'm doing great, despite all the chaos going in the world. Like, I was having plans of like revisiting Africa and everything, and then coronavirus. I was like, no. So yeah, I'm just
It's
waiting for it to all
temporary.
blow over.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
temporary. Okay, Darnell, I want to start off. I'm going to give you 3 words, and I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word, okay? You
Okay.
ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, DNA.
Africa.
Africa.
Yeah.
No, that's the other word, Africa.
Oh, okay. Son.
Ancestry.
Origins.
Origins. Okay, great. So now tell us why was Africa the first thing that came to mind when you heard the word DNA?
Because that's where we all came from. Like, that's the origins of humanity. Like, we were all black originally. Like, we were all in the same area, like with maybe different languages. There's a lot of languages in Africa. And so when I think of DNA, it's like, that's all of us. Like, we all branched out from there. You can find every group, a tribe of, or clan of people from the continent. And so at least that's what all the scientists say.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, that's fair. Your opinion is a perfectly valid opinion. So where are you from in Africa?
I come from many places, and I'm excited about all of them. On my father's side, it's Yoruba in Nigeria, which I had a chance to visit last year. I was there for 3 weeks.
What?
And,
okay, hold up. Tell us about that. I want to hear about this.
oh, okay, so this is kind of awesome and crazy. Like, as soon as I got my paternal results back, and so I posted them on Instagram, and the weirdest and coolest thing happened. People from the Yoruba tribe reached out to me. And we started chatting and then video calling and calling. And they were clearing a lot of misconceptions about Nigeria. And they were like, you have to visit this country to see what it is for yourself and not listen to like what the media and even the government, the State Department had a lot of false info about the country. And so they helped me get a visitor visa, get that instead of a tourist visa. It costs the same, but it's good for 2 years. And so I was able to fly in. And for 3 weeks, they helped show me around, like the place. Like I live like a local there, which is really cool. Like I traveled on this like the little taxi things, the little 3-wheel ones, and I was in Lagos and Ibadan, and I went to I think it's the waterfalls. I hiked all 7 levels, and I went to the Olmo Rock, and it was just going all over, and so that was really exciting. And it was weird because people thought I was Yoruba. Like, that was the freakiest thing, because one guy was like, I thought you were a tourist, but I know you're one of us. And I was like, well, actually, I'm from the United States. I was born there. He's like, what? You look like a Yoruba boy. And it's like, oh, okay. And so, but yeah, but it was great, and I had a blast. I didn't want to leave, but I had to leave because yeah. So
well, so Darnell, what made you? How did you feel when you got that Yoruba result?
I was excited and then mystified because I had never heard of the Yoruba before. And so I had to like Google, and then after I think it was in a day, that's when they started contacting me, which I was kind of surprised at. And so I've made a bunch of friends in the country and stuff like that. And we've been in contact like every day ever since.
So that leads me to another question, because one of the questions we get a lot, I get, and the people in general on our team get, is how do Africans feel about African Americans wanting to know where they're from? And that's such a general question that you can't really answer. But as you were telling people in the country, when you were in Nigeria, what you'd found out, what kinds of reactions did you get?
Oh, they were like, they're like, welcome home, brother. And they were just excited. And they actually said, like, where's everyone else? They wanted people from America to find out where they're from and come in the country and to get like the real history of Africa and stuff like that. And they even gave me like a Yoruba name, Omobowale. And so that's, I guess, my nickname. And so it means the child who has come home. And so,
wow.
But yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing. That's why we do this work, Darnell, is for these for you to be able to have these kinds of experiences. Now, was that your first test that you took with African Ancestry?
The first of two. Well, I took both at the same time. Like,
Oh, okay.
I
So
paid.
you got both results at the same time.
Yeah, because like I was saving up for an iPad at the time, and I'm glad I didn't pay for it. And so I was trying to debate whether I should do African Ancestry and iPad, and then I was thinking, my grandparents had always wondered where they're from, and they never had the opportunity. And here I was just debating about some dumb electronic tablet versus information that could affect my life forever, and it really has. And so I paid for both tests. And I received the paternal ones or patriarchal ones first, and then the matriarchal ones later on. And so, yeah, so best investment ever. Like,
what about your family? So because as you know, the results that you got for your paternal side of the family are the same for everybody who comes from a man on that side. So everybody who comes from your grandfather on that side now can know that they're Yoruba. And for your maternal results, those results apply to everyone who comes, let's say, just from your grandmother on that side of the family. So how did your family members react, if at all?
So okay, it kind of broke up, but actually, this is really kind of like it's bittersweet. My father passed away. But before he did, he found out he was Yoruba, and he was so excited. And so on his final days in the hospital, he was telling the nurse, "I'm Nigerian," and she's like, "No, you're not Nigerian," because he didn't have the accent. And he's like, "Yes, I am." My son took a DNA test, and he's like, and explained that he's of Yoruba origin and everything. And so that was like really awesome, like to see that he finally knew where he was before he passed. And so,
very powerful.
Yeah.
So tell us what you found on your maternal line.
On my maternal line, I found out Mandinka from Senegal, Fula, also known as Fulani from Guinea-Bissau, and some of them also reached out to me as well when I posted out results. Mende and Temini from Sierra Leone, and someone from Mende also reached out to me, and Pella from Liberia.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
So let me just interject here. People might be wondering, why the hell is he from so many different places? And the reason for that is those lineages that Darnell mentioned, those groups are very closely related genetically.
Yes.
Those countries are just present day borders that didn't exist prior to the scramble for Africa and the Berlin Conference. And so at one point, that was all one area with all related people that over time segmented off into different groups. And so at African Ancestry, because our database is so comprehensive, we found matches with Pele people. We found the exact same matches with Mende people, the exact same matches with Mandinka. And so that's why we were able to give Darnell all of those answers. And then it's up to him to decide what to explore first.
Yeah. And I think ever since this test, I've been reaching out to people on the continent, and they've been reaching back. And my goal is to eventually buy property on the continent. And many Africans are very generous. There's even areas where I'm not related to. They're like, hey, we'll give you a discount because, you're a diaspora.
Where you're from. Right.
Yeah. And they want us to come and help build up the continent and the country and stuff like that, the various countries and stuff. So, yeah, very, very excited.
So Darnell, I want to personally thank you in front of everybody who's watching, because you are a true warrior for African ancestry. This guy, Darnell, you are there when people are trolling us, you're setting them straight. When people are praising us, you're supporting that. You are like a one-man social media responder, and I truly appreciate that, because hey, I see a neighbor. Because that's what we need. This is not this is a group effort. this is not for the benefit of African Ancestry, Gina Page and Rick Kittles. It is for the collective. And so I want to thank you publicly for all that you do to support us. And I want to ask you one last question, because I don't want to keep you on here forever, but what would you say is one major takeaway that you want people to, Black people in the diaspora, to know when it comes to our identity as Africans?
Basically, we are the largest group of people who don't know our past specifically. And that might not seem important, but when you have conversations with people like from Europe or Asia, like when they know their past and their history, it gives them more confidence in the world, especially when you have chaos going around. And so the fact that like I know my past and people ask, and especially when they see the pendant you guys made. I love
shout pendant. Out to your pendant. Yes.
Yeah. Like I've had even people, Caucasian people, were like, "Oh, that is so cool." And so, and explain the history and the culture, like it gives you a sense of confidence. And no matter what happens in the world, you're just like, I have a home I can go back to. I have a home I can contribute to. And once you find your tribe, and here's the awesome thing, like it's like one big family like reunion. And so like when I was in Texas, I went to see the former ambassador Ericana Shimbo.
Oh, yes. You got to meet her.
Yeah. And so there's people from around the world, from, or from Africa, from Europe and everything, but they're all Africans of descent. And so I mentioned the whole test, and people got excited. And one guy, he got his results back. He texted me a month ago. And but people were excited, and one guy was Yoruba. He's like, "You're Yoruba? I'm Yoruba," and he was just like connected. And it's just like that connection is there, and it's just it's really powerful. And so I think the test is definitely worth it. Like some people I always have questions about this and that, but I'm like, you can spend money on a lot of frivolous things, or you can spend money on things of value and invest in the future. And so. And then one thing that this test actually has advantage over other ones, Sierra Leone has a right of return, and they're going to be making it official. But if you use African Ancestry and have Mende or Temne as a result, you can apply for citizenship there. And or Limba, yeah. And so I contacted people in the government, and they verified this, and they're just like, wait till the coronavirus chaos ends. Because, and of course they want to make sure everyone's safe, and then they're going to restart the program. And so, but they only does it through the African Ancestry test. And
to that point, Darnell, we have African Ancestry family reunions now that are on hold. And one of those trips will be to Sierra Leone. So for those people who are not as adventurous as Darnell to travel on their own, you can certainly come home with us to the country of Sierra Leone. We paused the springtime trips, but we're going to Sierra Leone in December. There's someone on, a family member who's on here, Darnell, Peaceful River Sierra, and she wants to know, how did the Yoruba people reach out to you? She's waiting for her results, and she wants to get in contact when she finds out her ancestry. So where did you post, and how did they find you?
I posted on Instagram because I was just so excited, and I was like, I kept saying Yoruba wrong. I kept calling it Yoruba, and they're like, no, it's Yoruba. And then,
well, you're from South Carolina. You know, we have our accents here in the States.
Well, I just didn't know how to pronounce it, and so, but it was a great conversation, and visiting, like they actually like messaging and then exchange phone numbers, WhatsApp, and then. It's just like it's like a natural progression of conversation, I guess. And so, and now I talk to, like, every day I'm getting messages from people, from the Yoruba people, also Mendi and others. And so, but yeah, they're eager for us to actually reach out to them, like very eager. They want us to come home. And I think the African Union actually put a statement asking for the diaspora to come home. Like, it's like official, that they're like, yes, you are Africans. You might have been born in a continent due to colonization, born elsewhere, but we want you to come home. And so, but yeah, there's a lot of movement to help bring us back to the continent. And I'm trying to get part of that before the coronavirus interrupted everything. But
that's okay. It's just because it needed to marinate, and it's going to be even better than it would have been once you get to go. St. John Lover 51 wants to know, were you introduced to Ifa when you were there? The spiritual system when you were in Nigeria?
Oh, the Yoruba, the religious Yoruba system?
Mm-hmm.
I was researching it, and I'm trying to think of the people I was with. They weren't a part of the Yoruba, the traditional religion, but they were explaining it to me, and I was surprised. This was my biggest surprise. Like Greek mythology, we were taught all along. Like I was like, I remember that person. It looks like Loki, you know, from like Avengers and stuff, but they're black. And I'm thinking, wait, did that come from here? Like it was just so like, I was just like, wow. And so it's like you get to see all that, and they're showing pictures. It's like I can't pronounce some of the names, but it was like Thor, but he's black, and all the other characters, but they're black.
Oh, that's probably Shango. Yeah, the different Orishas. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it's just like I was just like, this is this history that was never taught. They all say Western civilization, like the Greeks did this. I'm like, no, but it was in Africa, and that was just the biggest surprise to me. Like, just like there's so much stuff that I have to unlearn. I guess decolonize my mind, and just learn what the real history from like it was. And so,
Darnell, you are the bomb. I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to give you some more shout outs because you are the bomb. At St. John Lover 51 wants to know, how do we reach Darnell? What are you on Instagram, Darnell?
Oh, just Darnell.
Darnell, yeah, that's what I thought. He's the original. He's Darnell. Shout out to TJ, Harry O, Mende on mother's side, Mafa on father's side. Thank you, African Ancestry. Thank you, TJ. Terrence wants to know how he can reach you because he's in South Carolina. Terrence, he's at Darnell. Darnell, you're about to be a superstar. Adrian Natural Chic says she's proud of her results, and it blows her mind how we as a people want to hear that we have European blood or Native American blood, but don't want to know where we're from in Africa. Good rep, Darnell. Yes, yes, yes. We got Temne up in here.
Oh, yeah.
We got all kinds of know your history. Hey, LMP, hair care. Okay, so Darnell, I know that we started off, someone wants to know how long does it take for the results to come in. It takes about 8 to 10 weeks in normal times. So, these are not normal times we're living in, but in normal times, go ahead.
Also, when I got it, Chadwick Boseman, that's why I found out about African Ancestry, when he was on the Breakfast Club, and he was like telling everyone they took the wrong test. And I was about to take the wrong one, like Ancestry and 23andMe, because that's all I knew. And they would have told me, like, you're from West Africa, which would have been a waste of money. And so when I found out about it, I'm like, wait, they can be specific about tribe. And so it became so popular. I think my one took 10 weeks, but the other took like 8 weeks. And so, but yeah.
Yeah, you got it right. That was our busiest time in history, was during that period when he gave us that shout out on the Breakfast Club. T Mega Music Beats wants to know how to get more information about the maternal result of Middle Eastern. And so I encourage you to send an email to info@africanancestry.com with your questions, and Ty in our office does an excellent job of responding and breaking it down for you. We got the guy in the house. We got the Booby, the Fulani. We got the Ijo. We got the Creole. We got everybody in here. But when we started off, Darnell, you said that you were making the choice between an iPad and your ancestry. Did you ever get the iPad?
Yes, and I'm glad I waited because I got the iPad Pro. And I got a great deal from AT&T at the time. They were like, you can get it for like 0 interest for like 24 months. And they didn't offer that deal before. And I was like, whoa, it's just like a blessing. Like you wait, I chose the right choice and I got something better later on.
I say to that. I was going to send you an iPad, but I'm going to see what else we can do, because I really appreciate you sharing your time with us and and you making the decision. And just like I said, once again, for being a super African ancestry warrior. So Darnell, thank you so much for being with me today. It's very nice to see your face in real time. And I wish the best to you and your family and loved ones there in South Carolina while we are all handling this storm.
And thanks for this pendant. Like, I wear it everywhere unless I'm showering or sleeping. But like, it is awesome. It opens so many conversations, and so. But yeah, like I talk to so many people. They've taken the test and they get excited and stuff like that. And so, but yeah.
You are a magnet. Look, I'm sitting here smiling. The minute you open your mouth with that big old smile, I can imagine everybody listens. So it was our pleasure, and it's our honor to do this work for you and with you. So thank you.
Thank you, and thank Dr. Rick Kittles, because this was the best investment I ever had. And so, like,
I will definitely make sure he gets the message. All right, you guys. Well, that's all I have. We're going to be on live every day at 5 o'clock Eastern, 15 minutes or so with our African ancestry family members, just sharing the experience so you can hear it from them. Since you hear it from me, I want you to be able to hear it from the people who are like you, who made the decision, did the research, made some tough choices, and what they did with the results. So until tomorrow at 5, you guys have a very good evening. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.